Alright, so this is a game I played last night. It was pretty fun. Late night chess, it's always fun, right? When you're half asleep. And my opponent played the bird opening. So, nice and fun, right? I played as black. I won the game. So I'm just going to go over the game really quickly and do a very fast analyze. Not going very in depth, maybe like a move or two, not too much more than that. But so the game went like this. It was a very short game, 13 moves, and me. Now about this game, I apologize if going there that was too fast. But I've got limited amount of time I can record due to the space on my computer. So what F4 is it's taking a claim to the square right here, E5. And I played in return Bf4's Gambit, which attacks the F4 pawn with E5. And it also attacks the D4 square, taking more control over the center. So naturally you accept. I push D6. They take. I take the bishop. So I have gambited a pawn for development. It is similar to, say, the Danish Gambit, where you sacrifice a pawn for development, or perhaps the Smith-Morra Gambit, which is, again, basically the same thing as the Danish Gambit, but it is with the Sicilian opening. So the From's Gambit, which is right here. Now, say you decline the From's Gambit, which isn't smart, because if you decline it, you either got this, takes, you get your F4 square, but your E squares or your E file is way open, so check. And you're gonna more than likely get defend with your bishop, right? Your bishop, so that way your knight is not blocked in. Because if you develop, or your bishop isn't blocked in, because if you develop your knight here, your bishop is blocked, nothing it can do. And so then, by forcing you to block, right here, who has the better hold on the center? Black or white? Black does, because all white has attacking the center is this F4 pawn. Whereas black has his knight and his queen. So take c5 is generally the best option for this gambit. Although you should be playing the bird opening in the first place unless you know a lot about it and you've memorized several lines and you have a very good understanding of opening theory. And you can see things fairly decently far ahead, like a move or like a 2 or 3 moves ahead. So From's Gambit, right? He plays knight f3 to try and play to take more control of the center. I play knight f6 to take control of center squares he is not controlling, which would be e4 and d5. He plays d3, perhaps to develop his bishop later on. I don't know what the purpose of that move was. I believe it was so he could open his bishop up right along this diagonal here, the h6 and the c1 diagonal. And I just take more control over the center, right? So I've got 3 developed pieces. I can castle. I mean, things are looking pretty good for me, right? e4. Pretty decent move in and of itself, but because he's starting a fork on e5 in the next turn, so say I just make some waiting move, like I want to yank out my bishop here. That'd be a blunder because he can fork here, and I'm going to lose a minor. Well, it's not necessarily a blunder, but right there I've lost more control over the center than I'd like. It's just, no. So, to avoid that, I play knight to g4. This attacks the f2 square, which he's left pretty much undefended by pushing f4. And the e3 square, which isn't as much of the focus here. I play it to avoid the fork, and basically I just wanted threaten a fork here on f2 after moving my bishop here or something along those lines. And then he plays knight g5. I am not entirely sure what the first of that move was, but I do believe it was to try and fork, maybe? I don't know. You know, perhaps after playing something like queen to f3, he'd be threatening a mate, but, I mean, you know, so I played knight d4. That that prevents him from playing queen to f3, threatening that mate, or fork, and it restricts his king side even more. He plays h3. This is a blunder. Pause the video, find out why it's a blunder. Alright, so now that you figured out why it's a blunder, I take advantage of this blunder, and it's a blunder because it forces his king to move around and he loses so much material from it, right? Forces his king to one legal square, d2. And hey, look, there's a free knight for me. So I will take his free knight, and he's in check once again. So his only legal square is on c3. I move to check and defend my knight. So he only has, again, one legal square, which is d2. And from here, I check with the bishop, forcing his king back to its original square, and then I check with knight. He moves his king, and I mate, which was a blunder, but the same result is achieved fairly soon. The mate is so obviously if you check here, you go there, it's mate. So his other option is to take here. Now I'm attacking his bishop, right? He has nothing to defend his bishop. He can't move to defend it. The only thing he can do is threaten my queen. This is the only thing he can do to defend his bishop, is threaten my queen and attack and defend the bishop. So by attacking said bishop, I can move here with check, and it goes back there. And then I can check here. And after takes and takes, I'm threatening mate right here. If he does this, I can go here. By taking that pawn, and I'm threatening his rook. Say he goes here, for whatever purpose. I take and skewers king and rook. Say he goes here, then I will just take here. And I have a huge lead in material, and he's so far behind, it's nearly impossible to bring it back unless I make a really bad blunder. So, to just end it quickly, this happened. So, the bird opening, fun opening, but if you know how to play it. If you don't know how to play it, I don't recommend playing it because it's otherwise bad. Because you're weakening your king's side, you're not making much of a claim to anything in the center. You're not contributing to development, you can't end up developing one of your bishops after this, you can only develop your knight, which you can do already. Your king is weak because of this diagonal. Although some interesting gambits can occur from this. Like this, if you decline, you play that, now you're in a king's gambit-like situation. So, I mean, it can transpose easily, but you gotta be careful with it.